Yes, please. Any other response? I can see there are a couple of responses. So that means you, the head of the institution, so head of the organization or the treating doctor will be held responsible. All of you agree with this? Okay. Yes, please. Any other responses? Yeah. So thank you very much. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Now see, like, what are the, like, can you tell me the reason? Doctors are also liable. Okay. Thank you. Uh, why the hospital should be liable, or doctor, or both of them? Sri Madhukar stating doctors are also liable. Okay. Why both of them are liable, or either of them they are liable, should be liable and liable? Cause of action and act of the party. Okay. Suppose the doctor goes beyond the prescribed duty, right? Whatever duty is assigned to doctor, and he move from that particular scope of duty. So then what will happen? Whether hospital will be liable, yes or no? No. Why should a doctor be held responsible for staff incompetence? Okay, thank you. So I don't know the name is written. Why should a doctor be held responsible for staff incompetence? Another is response is yes, yes. Dr. Sivananda. Okay, again, let me start. Thank you very much for all the responses. Yes, again, look at this. Already, Advocate Purushottam would have discussed like everything. Okay, this is the provision. Imprisonment, fine, penalty, right? All kind of things are there. Now, related to we see, uh, again, sometimes like the act in good faith, the care that you have taken, all the precaution that you have taken. So all kind of those kind of things also come into picture, right? Like, it's all about evidence, right? How you prove what kind of things happen in that particular the circumstances. So those things all happen. Recently, I don't know how many have read like national the medical commission, they have come up. Think they're planning for the amendment and planning. If you know the victim, the relatives of victims or friends, they are violent, so they can refuse the treatment. Anyone of you read that news recently? I think that's 2-3 days back, right? Yes, please. So in this circumstances, something has happened. So what will be the repercussion, consequences? Yeah, this came right a few days back. So two, three things major. One, this was also one of the like top. If relatives, friends, they are violent, so they can refuse the treatment of that, injured, or that, the patient.
The patient will be sent to the next hospital. Yes, no, sir. They can be referred to the any other hospitals, but the patient will be definitely in loss because of that golden period will be lost there with all this violence or this kind of behavior. Am I correct, sir?
1 second, madam. Are you, madam, doctor practicing, working?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, madam, like for example, I'm like, no, I came to your hospital and then you are making delay. I become violent and then no misbehave, or mistreatment to your personal or with you also, and you said no, and something happened to that patient. So what will happen?
So definitely, the patient will be definitely in loss, like because the treatment will be denied for him, and if he's going for the other hospitals or something, that the golden period, that lapse of the period will be definitely there.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this thing happened in one of the judgment. One of the student, this thing happened, right? And moved to another, but it was nearby. right? And then they denied patient because of they didn't pay the money. So that was a case we'll discuss. And later on, it was a 6-7 kilometer far away. They took that patient student to that hospital, and then he died. So this thing
Yes, sir.
happened. So like all of like we better know medical ethics. Every profession they are having ethics. To the what extent we follow, that is in we have to see. Like we as a lawyer, we have also ethics. Again, the what level we practice. One is practicing that we know, and same thing with a doctor also. Any other professions also. So yes, definitely. So again, one of like because a lot of this kind of incident have also come up because the doctors and they try their level best. Again, they're supposed to try their level best, and then if you like this kind of thing
Thing
happens, right?
happens, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Sorry, please keep your mic muted. If you want to speak, you can. Yeah. So now, like for example, so that and especially this kind of scene we have seen, the patient dies, right, and then the relatives, friends, they become violent, and then they do a lot of damage to the property of hospitals, and then okay, law does not permit to cause violence inside hospital. It is a punishable offense. Yeah, a lot of things are there. We can see uh, if the government appointed nurse commits a medical negligence act, who will be held responsible? Okay, thank you, Dr. Jhansi. Yeah,
In the
yes, please.
Shall I answer that question, sir?
Which one? Yes, please.
Ma'am, it depends upon the factual metrics of the case when it is on trial. My voice is audible to you, Dr. Jansi, madam? So it
Yes,
depends
yes,
upon the factual metrics of the case. Initially, the burden of the proof lies upon the doctor. See,
yeah,
the thing that the main doctor will be also a party, the nurses will be also the party. It depends upon the prosecution department based upon the evidences led by the aggrieved party. So in that case, a government doctor will be also made a party to the criminal case. At the same time, the staffs also made a party to the criminal case.
I
Once the
see.
trial commences, and in the trial, if there is a revealing of the truth that who had committed the negligence, so
Okay,
Yeah,
in
just
that
one
way,
question.
the liability will shift upon the nurse or the doctor. But initially, both of them will made a party to the case, criminal case.
true, true.
Whereas I already said in the previous session that there are three types of liability: criminal liability, and
Yeah.
the monetary liability, and the kind of a disciplinary proceedings. Here
Okay.
in criminal liability, what I said, in that way, the court will fix us the liability. We cannot say in an instance where that the government appointed nurse commits a kind of a mishap or a kind of a negligence act, the senior who is the supervisor will be held responsible or not. That will be determined in the full-fledged trial. Not, we cannot say like that. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I just have one question, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry. Let's say it is purely because of the staff incompetence, as I stated one of my questions previously. So in that case, it's not just one nurse or one doctor, it's an organization. A doctor cannot oversee in person the every act or every move that is made by the organization staff. So in that case, why will the doctor be held responsible? Or could you please quote an example where the vicarious liability will apply for the doctor as well?
One second.
Like
Let me. I think. Sure, 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 sure. Shall we start with? I think let me start with presentation. So we'll have some clarity. So again, in law, right? Rightly stated by Advocate Purushottam ji, right? Again, so what kind of care that you have taken, right? Okay, let me talk. Doctor, if medical negligence of government doctor is proved, who has to give compensation? Health department's concerned doctor. Yes, very good point. Now look at this. So two things, which is like all the cases, you have to divide, various parts. For example, the major thing now, I'm like relative, right, of one of the, this thing happened. So I will file the case against the basically against, against the hospitals, right? So hospital, they have to take care, obviously, insider matter. The hospital will take care of, okay, they will see like who are the responsible doctors, nurses, staff. So that's again will separately. As a whole, right? Again, the party, but right, A versus hospital, that will in the major picture. And definitely, big cases you will see some of the, okay, they will make a party hospital also, and they concern doctors also. It's, for example, some, medical superintendent, big doctors is there, the famous one. That's why we have gone to that particular hospital. 2 3 doctors are there, for example, they are the nowadays you can see that the marketing done by various hospitals, 3 4 big doctors are there, and they are putting, the posters around the, city that you have seen, or you might have also seen. Okay, because of that, we are going, they are also propagating, and we are the expert in their particular field, go that particular field. We know them. Okay, the hospitals, and then the 3 doctors, and then obviously other doctors will be also be there. So internally, they have to manage this entire thing. That the hospital will take care of, the arrangement, or, look, because sometimes they're experts. They will be paying, okay, 5 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees per month. So, so for that, they will taking, they should, I would say, most probably they should take those things separately. Now, obviously, bigger one, big doctor, for example, as I told you, 3 doctors, hospital plus 3 doctor, right? Let us know that again we have to take the case, file the case against, the proper manner. And then nurses, for example, there's a question asked nurse, right? So again, everybody, Nursing Council of India is there, right? So internally, what kind of arrangements are there? Some kind of, things are happen. Dental council, if you go for dental surgery, so for that you can make a complaint that way, right? For the professional way, and then obviously in consumer cases also. So that way, related to this, so whom do you want to make a party? Obviously, some big things. Or if one patient is admitted for 1 month, so we can imagine, like, there may be uh maybe 20 30 part from doctor to staff would be associated with that particular managing, or taking care of that particular patient. So this thing happen. So ideally, as I told you, the hospital and then big doctors, sometimes they miss, okay, they just file case again. So, and then hospitals, they have to take care of the arrangement with the doctors, because they must be paying handsome money because of their. Okay, let me go through it. Shall be the duty of the doctor or the hospital to adequately train such nurse before working? Yeah, obviously. So again, it's like due diligence, the how far you have put up, like we have said, like, far that the doctor nurse perform his or her duty, right? So again, they have to prove, and then at least stated by Sundam JK, like, the burden of proof, right? You have to come up with, okay, this kind of things I have taken into consideration. You have to prove, right? Different cases are there. We can say burden sometimes, accused, or who are complainant. So this kind of thing happens. So again, you have to prove with this thing. So take due diligence, right, care, and then that will happen. Now, let me start with the presentation. 1 second. Okay, are you able to see the screen, PPT?
It is starting, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yeah, let us start. So, can you guess this name of movie? Anyone? Because I see a lot of movies. So, I thought, let me put up this, example. Yes, please.
Kabir Singh. Kabir Singh. Famous Kabir Singh.
Okay, Uday, Advocate Uday. Yes, Kabir Singh. Yes. Anyone? Any guesses? How many have seen this movie? Okay, Uday, he has seen this movie. Kabir Singh. Any other participants?
Sir, this movie, all the regional states are united.
Yeah. So another question is, shouldn't the competency assessed during or before the recruitment? Madam, again, look at this. We know we have different arrangements are there. We see, okay, written exam, interview, and other things are there. even as a human being, these things happen. So we try our level best, right? Especially medically, a lot of expectations are there. As a legal professional, also, we try our best. Unfortunately, we don't have, okay, we lose the cases, other things, so nothing happens to us
I will
because
answer
we
this
try our
question.
best.
If you permit me, I will answer this question.
Okay.
So, question here in sense regarding with the competency assessed during or before the recruitment. Yes, definitely. It doesn't mean that you should have high competence. The only thing that ordinary skill and care, if you are having that type of skill, that itself is an efficient for you to and that itself will takes and determines the medical negligences. Not that you are a super specialist or not, you are done your kind of a diploma courses from abroad. All these things doesn't matter actually. The only thing that so ordinary due diligence skill, that itself is essential to determine the medical negligences. Here, Professor Dr. Amarnath Mishra, who is a medical legal consultant and a celebrated kind of a FSL expert who are present here, can I request the Dr. Mishra to open up this question and answer this question? Mishra ji, are you there? Dr. Amarnath Mishra ji.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Yes.
So, can
Yes, sir.
listen that question again?
The question is in chat box, sir.
Okay.
It is the question: shouldn't the competency be assessed during or before the recruitment in context of government recruitment?
In regard of medical officers or forensic experts?
Officers, medical
Med-
officers. Miss Janki is a doctor, a medical doctor, is a government doctor, medical officer. She has posed this question: shouldn't the competency be assessed during or before the recruitment? Definitely, competency will be assessed.
Actually, Purushottam ji, you are right. Definitely, we will know about the competency, and examination of the government recruitment process is to check the knowledge competency. But generally, that is the theoretical examination, or sometimes that is the selection on the basis of the interview. So nobody know about the hands-on or practice experience or which type of background, other thing, many things. So competency, just like in the forensic expert in the forensic science laboratory, medical officers also required to go join the Indian Medical Association and other specialized society of like some community medicine, psychiatry, many things to enhance their knowledge of their practice, as well as also that medical officers few years under the senior guidance. So I think that they can improve themselves and know more things, and also need to read research articles, updates in that field about medical legal issues as well as the clinical issues, so they can hamper or reduce such type of negligence and follow the guidelines, I think.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Madam, you have any other doubts? Dr. Jansi, madam, you can pose and you can speak directly to the dignitaries.
Thank you for your response, sir. You can go ahead with the session.
Yes, sir. Kalpesh Kumar, sir. You
Yeah,
can
sure.
proceed.
Yeah, no, but thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Amarnath ji, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, sir. Yeah. You're in NFSU, right? Sorry, RRU, I think.
I was there in Rashtriya Raksha University.
Yeah. That's why I know. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Now I'm in the Lloyd Institute of Forensic Science as a
Yes.
professor.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. So again, every, like for example, we rely on the education institutions, right? Okay, this is the Bar Council of India certificate, Medical Council now, NMCL certificates are there, Dental Council, nursing. So obviously we have to rely. And for checking competency, we take entrance exam, interview, whatever, the mechanisms are done in that particular field. Even after that, situation happens, right? So again, there is a window, and then how far that the care has been taken by you, the due diligence taken, you have done. So that really matters, right? So again, there is a window, law, again, so, evidence, proof, the due diligence that you have taken, that really matters. Now let me go further. Yes, that is a movie that Kabir Singh, it came to my mind while in preparing for this particular, the presentation. So again, this, I think, yeah. So it's a remake of this movie, like, Arjun Reddy, right? I hope most of you might have seen, or maybe half of you might have seen this movie. So it's a remake of, Arjun Reddy, Kabir Singh. So what is the story in this movie? Can anybody tell me? What is the plot in nutshell? Yes, I have given you hint. Yes, please. What is the uh, plot of this movie?
He falls in a love and he is a drunkard and he performs the surgery even at the time of intoxication. He was debarred. All these things, drama, a kind of a social drama movie, sir.
Yes. Any other participant?
Though being a doctor, he will not comply some of the kind of a condition which is imposed by the medical council, and he performs the surgery and he gets into the dock.
Again, this is Advocate Uday. Every hospital may be having specific treatment accordingly. Every personnel of the hospital should get in-house training. In America, such good practice are there. Yeah, definitely. So again, this kind of differences, something happens, somebody file case against hospitals, so they can prove this kind of trainings are being held, and so try to reduce. Again, as I told you, there are cases you might have seen or heard cases, the medical, the compensation amount given 1 crore to 2 crore rupees also. Later on, it went to Supreme Court, and this thing happens because cases, by the time you must be aware about this, district commission, state and national, and then Supreme Court. So this thing happened, matter reached to Supreme Court, and then something awarded by state commission, it was enhanced in national commission and reduced again in Supreme Court. So this kind of thing happens because again, different circumstances are there. Sometimes they use, again, it's matter of discussion, interpretation also, and then sometimes increase or reduce also. So it's again, drunkard is a doctor. He did MBBS also, right? Kiara Advan is there, right? In South, I don't know the, the actress name. So this again very famous that movie. So we can relate with this thing. And then later on, he become a surgeon also. After MBBS, he does MS also. So look at this. Can you read? Anyone of you might have not seen this movie. Okay, can you go through it for a 1 minute? This is the plot, the major thing, right? Yes, please.
Can we get into technicality of the subject, sir, instead of going this plot?
Okay.
So we knew this movie and all this thing.
Okay. Sure.
We can get into the technicality
Okay.
as it's a speaker waiting for.
Okay, no problem. I will complete in 15 minutes. Sure. Okay, thank you. So again, if I will share the PPT, go through it. So again, this is the thing. The drunkard surgeon again is celebrated. The surgeon, and again, he was intoxicated, and then again, there is a mishap happens in the hospitals. So here, nobody files case against the, like, he called like doctor, and then is like now personally in that case, no case is filed against the, because of something different. No case filed against the, the hospitals. They call, and they internally, they, disciplinary committee, and they held liable Shahid Kapoor. So again, this is the, like, based upon that, the vicarious liability means let the superior be responsible, right? I am working in any company, so let the owner of company in the higher authority will be held liable. right? So in that case, you will see. So again, you are asking someone to do that particular act on behalf of you. That means you are doing that particular act. That is a crux of, that, 1 second. Thank you very much for response. Yeah. So again, we see there's a crux. If you're asking someone to do some activities, so you'll be, that means you are doing that particular, act himself, yourself only. So this is the thing, and then obviously will be something happens, so will be held liable. This is like crux of this, vicarious liability that we learned in our, legal curriculum. So these are the example, like employer employee partnership, like some partners. Again, as I told, like parent child corporation directors. If you see in that case, like for, you have to see within a scope. One thing is within a scope. If you are going beyond the scope, again, so the organization, employer, the partnership firm, parents, corporation, they won't be held liable. So these are the things. Obviously, child, it is something different thing, case. But again, another example, you can see they'll be held liable. So here you will see example, you can see the third example very well relate. We have seen some of the example, like, surgical instrument was, left in the inside of the patient, and then, the hospital could be vicariously liable. This is very apparent, right? You cannot say I did my best and I don't know. So there is no excuse. But again, certain things like, medical treatment reports, sometimes some reports are required. You didn't carry out that particular reports, and you treated that patient. So this kind of things, overdosage. So this kind of thing will come into in a report, and then will be held liable. So again, the you can see the first example, second, again, I'm not going to detail with the paucity of time. The truck delivery guy, drivers, causes an accident. So again, this meant that the owner will be liable. Now, related to this, again, I'm not asking any questions, not going into dialogue mode. So why this is like respondent be superior? Let the master answer. Reason is there because, for example, driver. You are having a driver, a chauffeur, right? You are giving 15,000, 20,000 particular driver. He or she commits, right, an accident. So you cannot like, okay, catch the driver, right? I am, so again, it's very difficult because that the master is in a proper position to make that, the payment of that particular things that happen. So here, that is a, crucial thing. So we catch those, obviously, depending upon, like, for example, we have discussed, like, medical profession, we can held, especially the major, doctors, I would say, okay. Sometimes pharma companies force doctor to prescribe their company medicine. Yes, thank you very much, Uday. So recently also, like example, as I told you, like, the National Medical Commission. So again, this kind of restriction they are also going to put restriction on then prescribing that particular the drug of that particular pharmaceutical company. And then, as I told you, this they can refuse. So these are the latest update in this. They can refuse for the treatment of that thing, that the patients. So here there's a reason because they have resources. Hospital, again, for example, you are a doctor, we know maybe 50,000 you are being paid, and something big happens. So you can making the doctor liable. It won't will give you the, I would say, the sufficient result. So that's why this thing. So you are catching, right, masters, owner, right, employer, right, and then you get the better, I would say, results, I would say, right, after that particular thing. Obviously, depending on circumstance, you make those employee doctor they as a party also, right? Now, defense, again, you can see, as I told you, it's a, you can take the also defense, right, out of the scope. Right? This is scope that you have been given. If you do those things, then you can say, okay, he or she did, out of the scope, we assign this particular duty, so we are not liable for that particular thing. Sometimes you might have seen also, right, the companies and organization, also government companies, out of their will, they announce compensation also, as a moral duty. So they do these things. So again, you can say this is a like example, delivery boy, right? He has to take the particular route, and then taking, and something happens, right? So again, so the company will be held liable. So again, going out of the scope, right? Out on the way to delivery, he goes here and there and do some activities. So this kind of way, things will change, right? So again, you can see here. So every death of a patient, right, cannot be regarded as a death caused by the negligence. So as I told you, the things, the chain, right, the treatment thing, other things that you might have seen, the pharma, again, everything, right? The treatment, the reports, and then anesthesia, right? Everything when it was given, when should have been given. So this kind of thing happened. So again, from the chronological order, what thing happened, and then you found negligence, like this thing happened. They asked for, okay, for example, 50 lakh rupees as a compensation. But this thing have to happen. You also put your submission, right? You can reduce, right? Most of the time this happen, right? You have to put your submission to reduce your liability. You cannot say, okay, we are not liable at all. So this thing would happen. You can make an effort to reduce your liability, right? Now, obviously, you can claiming is expertise, right? You did right in that case also. So again, you have to take care of those things. You have to perform to that extent. So your liability will increase. You are claiming we are best surgeon, and then these are the results. This and then your liability will be, there. Now, 2, 3 cases again. You can see the Puja Sarma versus this case. You can see the page number like sorry, tab number 3. This is a little judgment. You can see here why, right? Which is former Chief Justice U Lalit, right? When then he was just a judge only. So why a patient visits the hospital? Because they do because of the reputation, right? Believe that hospital also. They don't know the doctor, the staff, the arrangement. They know, okay, this is the best hospital. We should go for that, treatment of particular thing. So again, and obviously they're carrying out those kind of reputation. And then if the hospital fails to carry out responsibility by physicians, and then uh, omission, right? Commission and omission, they have done something or they have not done something, omission, right? On behalf of the hospital will be held liable. So one of the case, second case, you will see, like you to engage a specialist. Sometimes you will see, okay, hospitals, yeah, but then, you need specialist for particular treatment. So you engage particular specialist in that, that vicarious liability, happens, and then compensation for mental health and physical also happens. It's not like, okay, it's not on our role, right? So we are not held liable. Again, you are engaging, right? You are engaging specialist. Sometimes happens you call them particular diagnosis or particular day or time, right? So you cannot accept from your liability, then you will be held liable. So here you can see the underlined word. You can see the same case. The last the slide. The hospital bears the burden of proof that treating doctor hospital was not negligent. So you have to take care of entire thing, proof, other things like documentation to prove your case. Again, I am repeating, you can reduce the liability. You cannot say we won't be paying a single rupees in that particular case. So that you should keep in mind. Another case you can see, I discussed earlier, right, related to the distance of the particular hospitals. This thing happened, like, again, the medical negligence cases and ethics things happen. So here you can see this, he was the BTech students on the way, and then he collided with uh, the the time bus, right? And then the complaint was made, transport bus, and then it was rushed to hospital, which was 1 kilometer from the accident spot, right? Keep this thing in mind. Again, the medical insurance was there, and then you can see the boy. Again, the insurance company will pay up to like 65,000 rupees. After treatment, the hospital asked 15,000 rupees. And then they demanded, so they were not able to pay, and then they discontinued the treatment. Then boy was rushed to another hospital. It was, I think, 6, 7 kilometers away from that particular the place, and then boy died. So it's a National Commission, National Consumer Dispute Redress Commission, NCDRC at New Delhi. So they had liable. So this is the case of the medical negligence case in ethics, right? So provided 10 lakh rupees compensation to the parents. So it is a course on like humanitarian basis, compensation was awarded. Here, this thing also like happen. Now related to the last part, that dead body, like for example, the patient is treated and then patient is dead, and they're denying to give you because the last ritual you want that dead body for cremation. So this thing what will happen, right? So this is the case news I got up, and obviously ethically, we have seen Gabbar movie. I hope you might have seen Akshay Kumar, and this thing happens, malpractices. So here also, like, as a morally also, if you are running hospital, I'm asking this question to you also. The patient is there being treated for 1 day, 2 day, or maybe months, and then ultimately died, and they don't have money to make the payment. So morally, we say, like, what is the need of, okay, and I'm asking on the basis of the morality, okay, you can hand over that particular dead body, right, to that relatives or friends. So this is my opinion, and this thing happened, like what happened, they tied this deceased with the bed, right? So and then ultimately you can see the news, right? 60-year-old man was last, like, again, this is the June 2020 news in MP happened. So family failed to pay the medical bill of 11,200 rupees. After media reports, the local administration suspended the license from the private hospitals and booked the hospital manager for the wrongful confinement. So this kind of things happen. It's all about the morality, not relative. Obviously, they are running hospitals. They have to also make the payment to, right, running, incur the expenditure for the running the hospitals and the other, the facilities. So this kind of, again, on the morality basis, they should, right? Every hospital, I would say, they should, okay, you can take the, and from their side also, right? I'm like relative sides or the friend side, they should make the payment to the some whatever extent they are able to do. It's not like, okay, it's again morality from that side also, right? My relative, so from that my side also, I should make the payment as a and obviously uh, they are allowing the dead body, you can handle that particular dead body. So these are the cases. Not all the time laws are there in picture. This kind of thing also happen beyond the law. So what kind of things that you do in a particular case? Now this thing happened earlier, used to happen like related to filling up the form. You have to fill up the form right before the treatment, and so this kind of thing happens. So looking at the circumstances on the humanitarian ground, you know uh, treat that particular patient. So thank you very much for your opportunity. If any questions, I'm open for question. Sorry, I was a little bit fast.
Any questions,
Yeah.
particularly with the vicarious liability, may ask the question.
Yeah.
Vicarious liability only. Dr. Amarnath Mishra, who was a professor of Forensic Science Institute, Lloyd Institute from Gujarat, and Dr. Kalpesh Gupta ji also from Gujarat. So it was a nice meeting and a kind of a synergical combination from the Gujarat contributing to the Karnataka advocate fraternity and the medical fraternity. So thank you very much, sir. So we are very grateful to you. So any questions regarding with the vicarious liability, you may put questions directly to the distinguished speakers. Madam, Dr. Jansi, madam, you have any questions? Any questions, madam?
Nothing, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇರ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶೇರ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಜ್. ಸಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತಾನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಸೇ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಯಸ್, ದ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್. ಓವರ್ ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಮರ್ನಾಥ್ ಮಿಶ್ರಾ.